What's up? Welcome, everybody. Hey, you guys, it's another Sunday, and you guys are watching Explain Yourself. I'm Joey Galvez, and this is my pal, Benjamin W. Morris. How's it going, Ben?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
It's been good, man. Sorry we're a little late. I had to help my wife put the boys down for a second really quick. So sorry. We appreciate you guys hanging out and waiting for us. But man, it's been good. It's been a little while since you and I've seen each other. We took a little bit
Long
of
time.
vacation. Yeah. You did a solo show and it aired last week. So and now we're back, man. Looks like you got a little bit more scruffy there, pal. How that's
I do. Well, I had my wisdom teeth taken out.
Yeah.
So it kind of hurts to shave. So
Yeah,
it's just been letting it go here.
I bet, man. And that's only like a day's worth of like growth though, right?
It's like a day, half day, something like that. No. Yeah, no, they said it would. I did all the research. It said, it's the first couple days are tough. It ebbs off a little bit. 3 to 6 is tough, and then you'd be okay. And I thought, I'm special. Obviously, I'll probably be fine on day 2. Yeah. And they were actually right in the money. That was exactly my process. So yeah, I'm feeling I'm still feeling some pain. Can't raise my voice. Not that I normally do that, but yeah, it's doing all right. But the beard's doing what it's doing, man.
That's awesome, man.
Not gonna mess with it.
Well, dude, I'm glad you're feeling better now, though, right?
I started feeling better on this Friday. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was pretty dramatic. It literally was exactly what I read online, and I'm like,
oh man, oh god. Yeah. I bet you felt all nauseous and gross. I can't.
Not really, actually. Just it was enough pain to just like stop me from doing anything. It's like every 5 thoughts is like ow, 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 and I'm like, okay, what was I trying to do? And then so it's just it's keeping a lid on things at work. But really, I was missing a lot of things just because I can't think straight when it's hurting. But it's been, I don't recommend it unless you're like 20. Oh, if you're 20, get it done. Yeah, just 100%.
Listen, I can't imagine doing I got a tooth that I might need to do. I'm like, oh man, I am just like trying to like wait it out as long as possible.
Well, that's what they told me. They're like, well, normally we do this to people that are, teenagers or 20, and I'm like. Mm-hmm. And yet here I am. So what are we doing here? So like, all right, we'll try.
What are you waiting for, pal?
Like this wasn't totally my idea. You guys told me to do it. So
this was not on my bingo card.
No. So, but yeah, it's now that it's all gone well and I'm over the hump. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
I'm glad you're doing a lot better, man, because we can talk some stuff.
We can quietly talk some comics. Yeah.
Don't get too excited. If we need to, you can just type in. I'll have you relay those. I'll relay those messages to everybody.
I was thinking of getting like a little yes/no buzzer, like Captain Pike had in the old Star Trek show.
Yeah,
that would work out real well for me.
Yeah, just type it or something. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, I don't normally need to elaborate more than that. That's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, I took a break. I went on vacation with the kids and the wife, and that was fun, man. It was a blast. We did a little staycation. We hung out here, and then you had a solo show because of your teeth. You wanted to get that out of the way really quick.
Yeah.
A few weeks, man, since we hung out. But
yeah, I was a wedding in Toledo. You were doing your staycation, which are the best damn vacations ever.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. We did really good on this time around. We're gonna get into talking about some comics here very soon, but we don't have any guests today. But we're gonna talk about some campaigns that we love.
We've got some great guests next week too. We'll let you know about that later.
But we wanted to talk a little bit, kind of catch up, because every time we take these breaks, I love kind of like catching up with you a little bit, because
absolutely.
This is one of those, we love doing this and hanging out with each other, hanging out with other friends. So I feel like. Well, sometimes we take a break and kind of
we're comics creators here. So when you say, what'd you do this week? I drew some comics. I wrote some comics. You need to bank some weeks as a comics creator to have some talkable events.
Right. Right.
Generally how I see it.
Yeah. I hit my line over here. I'm sorry. I'm messing up. I'm feeling new today, guys. I hit my line over here. So, but in between then, So not only did we do that, right? I got back from vacation, and then my 4-year-old son, I was like getting back into the groove of things, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna get some work done, and my son busted the screen of my computer.
Oh man.
And I had to so I was like out without a computer for like a whole week, and then I found one, but it's kind of a little bit older. So now like these the inputs, they're a little, the ports, they're a little finicky. So if you move them around a little too much, my equipment kind of goes out. So this is not, I hope this is not going to be my forever computer. I can already tell. But it's, I mean, it works a lot. I mean, it works for now, right?
That's all you can ask for.
Right. So and then I came back, and there was all kinds of really great comics on Kickstarter. It was, so I mean, I want to talk about a handful that I'm loving right now, but I want to hear what you got that you've been checking out lately, because I've been seeing, listen, we follow each other on Kickstarter, so I see what you're backing, man, and I'm like, ooh, that one looks good. Ooh, that one looks good. All right.
Well, I can bring up some. I've got our stuff up, but let me bring up some other stuff I've been seeing lately from some of our pals. Because I saw a few comics I have. I mean, I've been a little out of it this week, so I was kind of just getting back into the swing of things and checking things out. But I did see some cool stuff from the guest that you had while I was gone. Max Hoven, I think was his name.
Yeah, that one's looking good.
I was actually a little jealous because I've been wanting to talk to him. I really like his content.
And, yeah, oh yeah, he's got some really good stuff over there. Indie Empire, I think his show is called something like that. Yeah, really cool. I love how he's got this really cool take on some stuff. Like he really he's a little edgy, right? On the way he questions some of the people and the way he kind of frames things, which is kind of refreshing and kind of new, right? So I love his take on some of those things.
Yeah, no, I like his. I've loved some of his interviews. He's talked to some people. What I like about that stuff is he's talked to some people that really go about things, very differently than we're used to, which is your Kickstarter pipeline. He talked to a guy, Marcel something or other, I think was his name, Marcel Comic, who basically does a kind of a fan comic, a muting comic on Facebook and Patreon. Okay. And so he what I really like about his stuff is that's the example that comes to my mind. But it's not necessarily by default Kickstarter and then this and that. It's all sorts of people finding ways to make some money, doing their comics, producing the content they want to produce, and in all sorts of different ways, which I really is just valuable information. So, but his comic is live now for 3 days to go here. Yeah, and it looks really cool.
This one's cool. These guys are fantastic. I met these guys when I was working with Scout Comics, and they had a book called It Eats What Feeds It, and it was a 3-issue mini, right? And it was so cool. The artwork was by I believe his last name is Umazark, and that's his cover there, or not his cover, his pin up there, I think. One of the pages there, he's got a cover. But his work is so freaking cool and unique. They've kind of had this really cool idea, right? To kind of, they've always had this studio with each other. It's two guys, Max Hoven and Aaron Crow, and they do these books together. And they created this studio, right? They're not only are they comics writers, they're screenwriters, and they also produce movies. They've done a couple of movies that they've produced overseas, actually, which was really cool. I watched Max kind of make a movie with all Indian actors from India, and it's like the way he kind of went about it. It was really
wild. Wow.
It's such a cool idea the way he did it. It's you got to pick his brain. He's a cool guy to talk to and kind of pick your brain. But the different ideas that they come up with is so freaking cool and unique, and it's a new take. And they're kind of doing the same thing here with this book here. It's a new kind of there, and there's the a frame there where we have on the It Eats What Feeds It. There's a picture there, which it follows a young man who is kind of seduced by an older woman who has this really large estate, and he goes to work for her, and he slowly falls in love with her, right? But things aren't as it seems, right? She might or might not have a monster living in the basement, and she may or may not feed them human remains. So you got to read it. It's really freaking cool. Gorgeous artwork. It's kind of got a
Yeah,
little
I love the style,
subtle,
man.
a subtle like manga style, right?
Yeah, it
Um,
reminds me of like some manga and a very thin line work, but it reminds me a little bit of like the oh God, what's the guy's name that did the Metal Gear Solid
oh yeah,
booklets?
yep.
It's just that looseness and the vibrancy of the line work there.
but
Really
but
nice
at the
stuff.
same time, it's this really kind of muted colors. Like
Yeah.
it's such a good cool concept. They did even the lettering and the letters and like all the colors of the books. Like I got have issues where they're connecting covers, but they don't connect like, in landscape, they connect in portrait, which is really cool. So
It's a
you
good
put them on
idea.
top of each other and they kind of connect that way. And it's this whole really cool picture. These guys, like the things that these guys do. Here we go. We're looking at a
Mhm.
picture of
Yeah,
Aaron
yeah, go ahead.
Crow and Max Hoven. But the things, like, they really kind of like to step out of the box,
Mhm,
and that's what you're gonna get with this book. They chose a really great artist who is does this really cool kind of it's called like Euro Guro type stuff. It's like or Euro, or like erotic kind of horror kind of type stuff. Like it's this
mhm,
really cool manga style too, right? So it's I have no, like, I just found out about all this new stuff from him when I talked to him. But
mhm.
like such a cool concept. Very, very I mean, I didn't think I was gonna be into like manga style, but I'm here for this all day, man, because this I know the story is gonna be on point, the
Mhm.
art's gonna be on point, like fantastic.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like manga stuff. Well, I don't read a ton of it, and I don't get a lot of the conventions of the genre, but I've always loved the art. And I also think looking at a lot of the stuff that's popular now, because every now and then I'll just be like, what's the five most popular manga of, this year, this last year? And
Yeah.
I'll look at it, and there is something to be said for, and I think this is also true if you look at the guys who are really popular now at DC, Dan Mora, George Jimenez, who are doing stuff very clearly quickly, but
Oh, yeah.
fantastic looking stuff. And you look at the stuff that's really popular now. Some of it's very tight, but kind of a restrained line art, like Demon Slayer. There's that one that's Jujutsu. I'm going to butcher this, Kayatsu or something like that. Feel free to make fun of me. I do not know how to say that. I'm
I
45 and I'm too old to learn.
Yeah, don't make fun of us. We're old
Uh,
guys. That's
Feel free to make fun. It's well deserved in this case. I will make fun of you guys for not knowing about golf.
oh,
Uh,
yeah. Listen, I'm not a golf guy. I'm not a manga guy, but I
but
do
there is. Oh, go
enjoy.
ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying I'm not into any of that stuff, but I do enjoy acknowledging that this is an artwork, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's the point I was trying to make is there's something to be said for just going through as an artist. I really notice this. I can tell when somebody's in their stride, doing
Yeah.
stuff quickly, not reinventing the wheel every panel, which is tough to make yourself not do,
Mhm.
but producing really nice stuff and consistent stuff. That's the best, I think, way to produce a story. And that's what I've really liked about artwork like this. And some of the
Yeah.
artwork that I mentioned, Dan Moore, guys like that, who are
Mhm.
clearly in every now and then you can kind of see the cracks. You can see where they're cutting a few corners. It really only makes you appreciate the artwork and the skill
Yeah.
involved to do that all the more.
Yeah, I do love that, in this in the examples that they show here on the page, you see there's not a lot of panels and there's a lot more of larger panels in some of these
Hmm.
things. And if you notice, like, the lettering is very unconventional when it comes to like American style
Hmm.
lettering. It's very manga style lettering. You got the letters that are like this bubbles, there's a lot of space around it, right, where the text is, right? You don't see that a lot in American style type stuff, but you see a lot in manga. If I don't want to say a lot because I'm not a manga reader, but I've seen some enough to know that this is very, very, very reminiscent of the
Yeah,
lettering
no,
style.
100%. 100%. And I mean, that's something that you look at, boy, you even look at the old Marvel comics in 63 or, around thereabouts, where it was just doing different things, doing stuff faster, doing stuff differently. There's a lot to be learned from this. I mean, I've always been one of those people that's like, man, if I go into a Barnes and Nobles and I look at, our comics section and, their
Mhm.
comics section, I'm a little mad. I don't like that.
I know,
I'm
right? It's
upset.
there's
We need to
modern
put
stuff.
that back. But I mean, I really can't detract from the work. I think it's good stuff, and I do like to see a lot of people, just going into that format. So it's good stuff. But let's we can move on to some other stuff. I've been looking
Sure.
at
Yeah.
one other comic, and this is somebody we had on the show, I think, a while back. It's a comic I really like,
Yeah.
Warline.
Yeah, this is from our pal Henri. This is the listen, I was talking to Henri the other day, and I love this guy. Like, he comes out to the Phoenix Comic Con every single year, and it's called
Hmm.
Phoenix Fan Fusion. And he's is there every single year. He's been going since like 2017, 2018, which is around the same time that I've been like going to the cons out here, right?
Hmm.
So, which is really cool because we've kind of had this weird parallel to like things, right? And so it's funny that he would be tabling at our cons here in Phoenix, and he's like from Chicago, and then um he also works. He also does a show on the Experience where I actually worked and helped them do some of their PR stuff, and I was doing
Hmm.
their social media, and so I would have I have to run his show sometimes and kind of be post out for his shows and stuff. So so I kind of knew him through there, and then we kind of got to know each other throughout the years and hung out, and that's how we like started swapping, other creators' numbers and um, printers and artists. So one of the guys that did some work for us on another book that we helped publish, he did some covers, and he uses this guy on some of the covers too. So the freaking fantastic stuff from this team.
Yeah, no, every one of these covers. I mean, this one's great. I had not seen this one before a couple days ago. But I mean, they have an intriguing story. It's a father-daughter team, a really good hook, I think, story-wise. But I
Yeah.
just, man, I freaking love I look at, there's a Facebook group I follow called, I think, The Unspoken Decade. And it's basically just 90s comics, the good and the bad of
Oh, yeah.
90s comics. And I'm just like, yeah, even when it was bad, heck, it was pretty good. I love the energy of that stuff, and what I really like, and I've seen this on a few Kickstarters
Mhm.
with people that are like kind of not like, check it out, we're being really 90s and being self-conscious about it,
Mhm.
but then I see stuff like this that is, to me, this has that energy. I look at this, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Oh,
that.
oh, yep.
They got that wind in their sails, without being like, oh, it's a joke about having too many pouches like Liefeld, or any of that kind of tropey stuff, like we're laughing with the audience, sort of thing. This, to me, has that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an iconic look, um, that you can, these characters have an iconic silhouette that works in a lot of different scenes. So you can do this wild action, and just, it's a fun book. I really liked the idea of it. And the covers, man, every one of these covers has been better than the
Yeah,
previous one.
he knows how to pick a cover. He knows how to pick the artist. He knows how to write a good story. Yeah, dude, this is exactly everything that this is. This is exactly what he wanted it to come out to be.
Yeah, and
Um,
I love this background here. There's like kind of
yeah,
if you're familiar with Louis LaRosa, who did, I think he did the first issue of Scumbag. He's done some stuff for Valiant before it changed hands, but he's kind of have like the ink wash here with just a really, still keeps it really saturated.
mhm,
Um, that in the way that this is combined with sort of the line work he has going here. It's a great
very cool.
effect. It's really strong stuff.
Love that. Very cool.
Yeah, awesome. We can move on to. Do you want to talk about your book, or do you want to move on to some other stuff that's just out there now?
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, we could talk because right now I don't think I have any more. I think I wanted to talk about War Lion, and then which because I had to back this one.
Hmm.
Excuse me, because when I went because I said I met Henri, right? So I've got like I think I actually bought all three issues, but I had to
Hmm.
get all three issues again just so I can help my. I just wanted to give them some money. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and I love this freaking story, man. And I love like you said, the covers, the artwork inside, like all these everything that he put together with this thing is just the amazing team. I love it. And then if you guys check it out, go on Facebook, just type in Henri Compton and find him. He does live shows too, so and he
Oh,
sells
throw
books.
this
That's what
one
he
in the
does.
comments here too.
Yep, and he's got his own little online shop, and he sells comics, and that's what his whole thing is comic sales. He'll buy up like tons and tons of, like, he's one of those, like, he's like those dudes that you see on those TV shows where they just buy up tons of stuff and then
Oh,
flip it and
really?
sell it, right? So he does. So he's always got sales shows going on, and he sells stuff. And his goal every single time that he goes to the shows, he sells out of shows. Like, he's got numbers on each show that he's like sells out consecutively,
Hmm.
and like, it's, I don't think he skipped a year where he sold out of his books that he brought with him to Phoenix Comic Con, or Phoenix Fan Fusion. Um, like, and he doesn't just bring like one, comic box. He ships out like 30, 40 boxes, dude, of his books, like, and he sells out of them, dude. And I'm like, holy crap. Like,
Nice.
he's like, I gotta go pick up a pallet. I'm like, what the heck, dude? All right. He shipped the
Well,
freaking whole pallet out from it. I was like, all right, cool. And it's fun to watch him. He'll do like packing parties and stuff, and like go live and talk to people while he's packing up all his stuff, and then he ships it all out.
that's not a bad idea. I'm still fulfilling my last issue of Scarlet Twilight. I've got probably 15 boxes to pack, but they're all different ones now. Like before, I had batches that were all identical. I could mow through them. So I'm kind of going back and forth. That would not be a bad idea. That's
Yeah.
pretty sharp.
If you check out a lot of the cons, a lot of the good, well, I don't want to say good cons because I don't want to say any other con is bad, but some of the cons that I know of, they offer pallet service and stuff like that, and like truck service for vendors like that if you need big shipments, because I mean, when you're coming cross country, you got a big trailer, or you have your equipment shipped out, and then have it picked up um from there. So
Very cool. Yeah, no, I really like this book. It was a great episode when we talked to him. I loved hearing more about this comic, and it's one of my favorites. So
very
definitely check that one out. But we can switch over to your book, which I guess
cool. Yeah,
you and a few other people.
this one is our book. This one's called I Need Your Skin. And this one follows Nora Perkins, who has a fear of aging, and she thinks a clairvoyant can help her, but a deal will be made for a small piece of her flesh. This one is set in the backdrop of 1950s America, and Nora lives in a community where everything is perfect. Everything's right the way it's supposed to be, right? But she's just so afraid of aging, and so afraid that she's going to lose her beauty, and that's the worst fear in her life, right? So she thinks that, going to a clairvoyant, maybe get some tips and tricks and whatever. But this one kind of turns a little bit sour, and you'll see we got some pages here on the pre-launch page. You get to see all of the first 10 pages there. I think we have like 6 or 7 of them lettered for you to see. But it's a really cool book. It's been drawn by our pal Brian Belondo, and I was my story, my concept, and then it was co-created and scripted by our friend Alan Dunford, and then letters by Dave Lentz, who's like been on every other comic book on Kickstarter, doing letters. So this is a great team. They call themselves Rabbit in the Hat Studios. So this is a Rabbit in a Hat Studios Geek Collective collaboration. We are going to launch this thing in a 3-issue mini. First, we're going to launch it here with this one. We got a working title for this issue. We're hopefully, if we can land on this one, if I can get everybody to agree with me, and we're going to call it I Need Your Skin, and the first issue is going to be called Vanity Comes at a Price, or comes with, so I think that's what it's called. Vanity Comes at a Price. So starting with that one, then we're gonna have 2 other issues, and then we have a really cool universe that we could possibly open this up to, if you guys are willing to help us in back and pledge in this thing and get this thing off the ground, because we have a really cool universe planned. If this one is very, very successful, we're going to see this one out to all three issues. But beyond that, it's all up to you guys as the backers and pledge to pledge and make this thing possible. Because we have a whole universe that we are working title calling it the Seven Deadly Verse, and it's going to be centered around possibly the seven deadly sins. And we got a one shot that we are going to be working on afterwards, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then it's going to go into another 3-issue arc, depending on how that script works out. Could be a little bit longer, depending we're far from that script. But everything's written down, all the concepts, everything's kind of loosely mapped out. But this one here, this 3 issues is really set to be arted, colored, and lettered. So definitely check this one out. 125 followers. Check that out.
No, you're doing good, and I mean, I think that's a testament to the good story hook and the fantastic art here. I don't know too much more than you've mentioned just now. You told me some of the stuff about this,
Yeah.
But the way you've kind of mapped out, and I don't think it's a a big mystery given what you said in the Seven Deadly Verse name, where this is going and what it sets off and what it could lead to. It's one of those things that when you told it to me, I was like, man, that sets off a lot of thoughts in my head. I'm like, okay, it's escalating to something. Is there are people trying to stop it? Is there how much is going to be connected? Are there going to be recurring people? How there's just, which is not to say that any of those things need to happen or ought to, but it's one of those things that makes me think wow, that could go a lot of different directions. It's definitely capturing my imagination. So
I will say
a good universe. At least a good idea for one.
I will say this. I am really so we have the first three issues of this book mapped out, right? But when I said that we have this kind of loose idea of how we really want this thing to be full and filled out, so we can keep this 3-issue mini in its on its own, and there it is, right? Or we can grow this whole entire universe into this big story that we're going to connect. And Nora could be a huge key element to this whole entire story, which is why we are meeting her first. We have not met another one of the protagonists yet. But we are starting to meet some of the antagonists in the story. Hopefully by the end of the way that things are going to be working out, you guys will meet some more people.
No, I say, given what you told me about the larger picture and what I've seen of this, which is kind of what we're scrolling through now, I'm like, yeah, that could be really cool. I'm definitely pretty excited to see where that goes.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I love this. It's just, listen, I have this vision, right? And when you're working with all these other amazing creators that have a vision, have amazing visions too, right? You tend to start talking it out right in the background, which is I love that with teams, right? Because it shows that everybody has a passion for the story and they really want this direction to move forward in a solid way, right? Because it shows that everybody's willing to fight for this thing to be perfect or as perfect as we as humans can make it.
That's interesting because I've often thought that kind of, if you look at every show that's produced, there's a pretty big writer's room going through that. People take different characters, people take different scenes. They split up the work in a lot of different ways that you would not ever see in sort of a traditional, comic book setup. But that stuff works out pretty well. And I mean, you do have to recognize, I think, on at least some stories that a lot of heads being put together has to be a huge benefit. And that's not to say that I'm a terrible collaborator. I'm a terrible teacher. I'm just not good at kind of meshing with people sometimes on creative work. And and I've noticed that. But I've also noticed the times where I've collaborated with people and it hasn't been great. This is, years and years ago, not anytime recent. But it's everybody's kind of like, yeah, I kind of wanted to do this thing, and the other person kind of wanted to do this thing. You really do have to. There's an art to managing a team, and I think having a team that's experienced and they're able to do these sorts of things
Mhm.
and be mature and see, okay, you have lots of different projects. This project needs to be this way. Um, when you really have everybody dialed in on what the goal of the project is going to be, and everybody agreed on that, you get some really good insights and some
Yeah.
really good story content being shoved into your story. So, and I know the team you're working with on this, and I know they're those sorts of people.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it is. Can you still hear me? I don't know if my audio went
Yeah,
weird.
no, no, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, that's exactly what I feel with this whole entire thing is that um yeah, these guys are freaking fantastic, right? They do amazing work. I'm just super blessed and excited that I can I'm just excited.
You're popping out a little bit there. Joey, can you hear me? If, not sure. Joey's freezing up a little bit, but uh, I don't know if he can see or hear me. Yeah, okay. That actually might be a good idea. I'll go to turn off my camera. It might help. Joey, can you hear me? No, well, he might be having a little bit of a technical issue there, unless it's on my end, in which case I wouldn't know. But yeah, no, I mean, this book is, I've seen a little bit more of this, given I did this cover, which this was fun. This is based on the Misfits, piece of Misfits art, which is based on some other thing. Kind of had adapted to the story, but the art was really fun to produce. It's pretty easy to produce, given that it was just a pretty simple image. Kind of had to struggle a little bit with it's a tough thing to get this skeleton thing to line up with a face and still make sense with initially, I think, in the story, the Joy is kind of describing the cover here. In the book, we kind of tried to make it look like the bowl that's actually featured in the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
Which it's you really don't notice until you try to change something that, like, okay, that doesn't line up with the face in a way that you can really
Yeah.
see the skeleton and the face.
Yeah, it was and this the idea and then we can that's one of those things that we did, behind scenes, right? So we were like, okay, how about this? We were like, okay, cool. Yeah, that's like we get that. That's a cool idea. Let's do that. So I relayed the message to you and I was like, cool, let's put the bowl in there. Maybe we shouldn't do the glass because we were like, okay, cool, let's do the bowl because it works with it because you
Mhm.
know the in the book, she has a bowl and she has to, give her a piece of skin in the bowl and it goes into the bowl. So we were like, okay, we wanted to give a little bit of some spoil not spoilers, but like some teasers, some Easter eggs in this. Same thing with Vanity Comes at a Price is a small Easter egg too. So we wanted this to be, a fun little homage to like Misfits and the other book that I forget what other book it was. It was what was it? Strange something. Anyway. Um and then I was like, okay, cool. But then we saw it and then we talked about it and we're like, yeah, I see what you're saying here. Maybe we shouldn't change very much except for, the character.
Mhm.
And we did that. And then we also didn't want it, the letters to look too much like the Misfits, letters. We didn't want it to be stolen from them, right? Because so we kind of, used our own thing, kind of used our own kind of techniques and things of that nature and did our own thing. But I think it kind of worked out. It all came together, and I think it came it
Yeah,
looks
no,
good.
it did. I found the Misfits fun, and I
So did I.
installed
I
it.
have two.
No, I'm sure you did. Yeah, I this is actually one you sent me. I think it's called Mechapunk. We were
Yeah.
working with it for something else, but I thought I'll just try that one out because I remembered being something that was pretty versatile for if you're going to mix up the letter sizes. They weren't like if you're going to just have letters going across the line, not going to work out really well. But if
Yeah.
you're going to mix stuff up and do kind of a sound effect type of thing,
Mhm.
it worked out pretty well. And so I was like, yeah, I'll just try
Yeah.
that one first. I just loved how it looked. So I'm
And
like, yeah,
that's
that's what
exactly
I'm
what I
going to go
use
with.
that font is like a really good sound effect font, right? It's like
Yeah.
this really rigid kind of looking thing. And then I think we even played with it a little bit and like, put in some extra like, rigidness and some like, our own little,
Hmm.
swag here on this. But yeah, it came out really nice. I think, everything came together and it came out very well. Like I love the idea that you put there with the names. It looks like I don't know if you are too familiar with any with other like punk rock stuff.
Not
And
really.
so
Not
there's a
really at
band
all.
so there's a band called the Subhumans, and they have that letter, those letters that you have there with all of our names, and they have it like separated
Yeah.
in like 3 letters each, right? So it's really cool. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is perfect." When you sent it to me, I was like, "This is awesome. This is exactly what it should have been."
No, it's fun to play with. I mean, I'm the least punk rock person you'll ever meet. But I mean, I like the aesthetic of it. But the fun thing about it was to take what you think of as like traditional Marvel DC cover dress, like the logo up here, the credits, and then just do that through that punk rock lens. And then
Yeah,
also do, kind of when you need something to be simple, you kind of have to throw in a conventional font, I think, to just even everything out or
yeah,
just make the other stuff be more conspicuous. It was fun to look at stuff and play with, like the Geek Collective logo was very, I would say, modern-ish, and it was
yeah,
fun to just kind of throw that in there with the torn edge look,
yeah,
and then have all this stuff. So it was a really good set of elements to combine into something like this that
yeah.
make it really just work
And
and
I
shine.
loved how you did it because the one thing that I was always working on, I'm like, every comic book creator, they want a really good corner box, right? Who doesn't want? I really want a badass corner box, right? Give me a cool ass corner box. Um, and then when I saw this, I said, "Holy crap! He cracked like how to make this into a cool corner box." Because
Mhm,
I was like, dude, listen, ever since I came, like we had this logo as our logo, I've been working hard to make it look like a really cool thing, right? Like a corner box. That doesn't make it look like you're saying it was too modern. It wasn't really moldable very much. You got a circle
mhm,
within other circles, and there's points to it. But then when you did the whole geek part of it, and then you like it's almost like you dropped out the back, and it just has this little like the white parts. And I was like, oh, that was a really nice
mhm.
touch. Um, BMD Nerd says some of these comics have been upcoming for a while. When are they dropping? Are we talking about the archetypes books? So yes, we are. We hit a couple snags. We had a creator send us their work, their that needed to be lettered, and they did not send us the full file. So we're working on them sending us the full file of the pages so we can get those lettered. And then everything else is being set into place now. We sent out surveys. So if you guys are out there, send us your addresses because we are going to get this thing done ASAP. If we cannot get that person's work in time before this thing is done being laid out, then we're going to move forward without that story in there. And then what we'll do is we'll throw that in there as a freebie. Maybe we'll just, make a small little ash can with a couple of stories and send that out to you guys for free. But we're going to make sure that this works out. Sorry about the snag. Things happen when you have 40 creators on a book that is going to be a square bound almost 200-page book. So please bear with us. We're going to make sure that gets out there. The money's still in the bank. We still have enough to get it all out there. We're going to get those trading cards out there to you guys at the same time before this Kickstarter goes live so that you guys know that we're telling the truth and making sure that we are doing right by you. So please make sure that you guys are checking your emails and for all the updates. Excuse me, I'm starting to lose my voice.
Yeah, no, and then I think some of these we have been talking about for a while. My comic, this comic, Scarlet Twilight. I think
And
if I
ours
really
gets
buckle down, I can probably have that one done in a week or two, because I want to have the whole first issue done before I launch it. But the at least in black and white, because I kind of want to share like an Ashcan ish digital version to everyone like day one, and then just let everybody see, like, just update it every week with like this many pages of color. I'm also kind of messing around with. I got the idea to do August as a sort of a 5e expansion for D&D, at
Mhm.
least a part of the story. So I've been kind of messing around with that, and there's I've always been kind of intrigued with taking other parts of. There are parts of Kickstarter that have just so much more traffic, and I think the TTRPG section is one of them.
Mhm.
And trying to
Yeah.
just bring that back to comics a little bit, and that
Yeah.
was something that I had a section of story for August that I didn't want to do as a comic, or at least a comic necessarily in the same way the other ones are.
Mhm.
It was kind of almost something that was like more akin to like a documentary about the Civil War or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of just looking for a format for that. And as I was looking around Kickstarter, as I do from time to time, I thought, this could be cool if I could figure out. I mean, I played D&D for about 5 years now, and I'm getting it.
Yeah.
I could be better, but it's like, yeah, actually, this is a great format for
Mhm.
the parts of the story that I have some openings for. And there's
Oh,
so
man.
much more people supporting things like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
You look at different section of Kickstarter, and comics is doing good, but other parts are, just have a little bit more foot traffic. So I'm kind of struggling with whether I launch that one first or Scarlet Twilight. It may come down to a coin flip. We'll see.
Yeah, man. Listen, we did the zine thing too, and with the first archetypes, and it did pretty well, right? And then so I love that, right? And but it wasn't like a zine, right? So I've
Mhm,
always wanted to do like an actual like punk rock zine and or something like that where it's actually paper and folded and like
mhm,
DIY, and then maybe we do Xerox copies of like everybody's comics and stuff inside there. Maybe we do a colored version later on, but I really wanted it to stay like a real punk rock zine, right?
mhm,
Um, and then yes, and then the whole explanation that I gave is exactly why we didn't want this one to go live too soon, because we wanted to make sure that that the trading card and the archetypes issue 2 goes out before I Need Your Skin. It I Need Your Skin was already gonna actually, we had a date to be live this coming week with I Need Your Skin, but we pushed it back because we wanted to make sure that those other campaigns got fulfilled
mhm,
before we started another campaign. We just want to make sure that that is, that's our priority, and to show you guys, our backers, that you guys are the priority and those works are our priorities. And we didn't want to, get behind the ball on that, right? Because we didn't want too many things in the air and not enough things going out the door. So, so so once those books are out, then we can launch this one. So right now we have a mid June launch, a target launch date or target launch area. But it all depends on printers and how fast we can get these books printed.
mhm.
So if you guys want to say your prayers tonight, please pray that the person that I sent the email to answers the email the way I need it, so that we can, because I'm just waiting to lay these books in there. Um, Ben is waiting for me to give him the rest of the pages to letter. So
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you about that
see,
actually.
see, he was like, "Where the heck are they at, dude?"
No, no, I mean, no, I wasn't bugging you because I was like you mentioned, like, oh yeah, I need your letters. I'm like, yeah, cool, I'll do it. I'm also just like, like in Empire Strikes Back when Chewbacca is like doing a sad yell when he's in a cell in Bespin, and just the sort of like that's been my mindset this whole week. I'm just like, ugh. Like, so like I said, yeah, I'll let her. And you didn't send me stuff. I'm like, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
rattle the
it's
cage there,
because
like
it's
when
because
you get it to me, I'll get it to you.
I went to send you the file, and I said the whole file's not here, dude. I thought you sent
Oh,
me the
okay.
whole file.
No,
And I
I
was
didn't get anything.
no, and I scoured my oh, I scoured no, the creator. So I scoured
Okay.
my whole like I even pulled up my other computer. I pulled up like I listen, like literally I could pull up my hard drive. I have a hard drive laying around here somewhere. I threw it off to the side because I was looking in my hard drive to like I have a portable hard drive that I like sometimes I put things on important things on there
Sure.
and make sure
Sure.
that it's there and that's my backup. So I was like, is it on here? Is it on here? So I went and I was like, holy crap. And I looked through the emails and I saw the email and then nothing came through. So it's not there. I wasn't going crazy. It's not there. It was the wrong file. It's not the correct
No, no,
file.
you mentioned it, and I mean, I wasn't like, yeah, no, I'll do it when I get it, but I'm just like, when you didn't send to me, I'm just like, I mean,
I
I'm
can
not gonna
send
be
you the
like,
script. I can
I
send
was
you.
no, I wasn't, no, I wasn't like, dude, send me that stuff, and I'm like, I just want to sit in
Yeah.
my bed and
So no.
be
B-
angry at the world.
BMD Nerd says is the first archetypes available for purchase anywhere online. I reviewed it a while back and I want to let folks know where to get it. Actually, number one, if you got a link to that, man, or drop it in the comments, or send us the link through any of our socials and in a DM, and we'll post that out. We'll push your show out and we'll talk to, promote you a little bit, and then but I think I have a Ko-Fi coffee store,
Oh,
but
okay.
we are working it so where you can purchase that, or you can reach out to me personally, and we can you can buy it straight from our PayPal account.
Is
Excuse me.
it on Global Comics?
It is on Global Comics. You can read it on Global Comics. We can buy it there digitally on Global Comics right now. I think if you go to back to the second issue campaign, you can
Mhm.
go there and there's a link where you can read the whole first issue for free. On Global Comics, you're only going to be able to read a handful of pages and then you'll have to purchase it. So if you want a free version of it and read through it and send it to friends that way, you can go to that last campaign and
Mhm.
send them that link. I'm absolutely fine with you guys doing that.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
I had the Global Comics link up, but if you want to route everybody somewhere else, I would
no worries. No,
post
Global
that.
Comics is fine. You can go ahead and put that one up there for anybody that wants to read it digitally. But if you want some physical copies, man, hit me up. Maybe I could work out a deal and send you a handful. Maybe you can sell them on your show or whatever, and we'll work out some kind of consignment deal, dude. And then just let me know how you want to do that, man. And then we'll definitely. I know you've been working, asking us about issue 2. I'm gonna hook you up because you've been waiting. I'm sorry about you waiting, man. I'll make sure you get that. Um, but yeah, I appreciate you, helping us and you've been amazing. You've been here almost every single week watching us and hanging out with us. We appreciate you. Um, yeah, man. And we got anything else? I know there's a
Well,
couple
we
things.
have we can talk about Angel Hunter. We can talk. There's
Yeah,
um a few other comics we have. I've been seeing posted lately that I've been pumped about. I know we're gonna get Rich on here one of these days to talk about
yeah.
Angel Hunter.
He's a busy guy, man. He's a busy guy.
Actually, I thought he had done some Kickstarters before. I'm just seeing now this is his
So
first creative.
this is his first solo one that he's doing on his
Oh,
own.
okay, cool.
He's done other stuff through some of the publishers that he's had his other books out with, because he's got some books through direct market publishers. They're really cool stuff. So if you guys want to check out his other things, definitely check all that stuff out. But this is another one that is manga inspired, but it's a American comic book with manga inspired artwork.
Mhm.
And but it is a manga book, so it's not going to be um you know yeah flipped it where you do right to left. It's going to be left to American style. um but it's going to be black and white, and it's going to be like 100 pages. Like he's going to be doing these things in like a volumes, like just like mangas do, because he's got this long thought out world and this all these stories that he can go 300-400 issues with if he really wanted to, because he's got this really cool story that he wants to tell, or he can shorten them down. So it just all depends on all these amazing people, these 144 followers. If you guys all get this amazing stuff, the more that we support these creators, the more that they're able to do this, right? That's the huge thing, because this is not this is a passion project. I think all comics are passion projects because, I don't think any, if you're a millionaire making comic books, my hat's off to you. Let me know how you do it.
Well, there's a few people out there, but
Let me know how you do it.
Yeah. We should get some of them on. We'll pick their brains.
But pay us to have you on. Just kidding.
That's how they get to be millionaires.
Right. Though, but this is cool. I
love this figure here. This like really Capullo-esque, like 90s face. It's awesome.
It's so crazy. It deals with angels, demons, fallen angels, people with powers, paraplegics that crawl to save animals that are in a burning building. Like it perseverance. Like it's freaking cool. You have you have these twins who who die almost every day to keep each other alive. They take other people's skin to live. It's this like they inhabit the same body, and they, in order for the other one to live, the other has to die. So they have to die, and the other one climbs out of their skin, and then they die, and the other one lives, and it's this.
A lot of mouths being ripped open from the inside on our show tonight here.
Right?
It's not something I saw coming. I was going about my business, just working on my lawn today, and happened to be up and about after my wisdom teeth, and suddenly all this weirdness.
But because I think the clairvoyant was kind of telling us something there. There's somebody who was in mouth pain.
No, gosh, that didn't even. I did not yet connect those dots, but yeah, there it is. 100%.
Yeah, this is cool. There's all kinds of superpowers. There's fallen angels with like dark. It's so cool. You guys, you just got to check it out.
No, I'm curious. It's going to be fun to talk to him. I would really like to. I get a lot of Berserk vibes from this. Like the just the kind of, boy, it's going to cost you something to do the right thing and fight, and just the determination on this guy's face. I mean, that's a good hook. Just this is like, wow, yeah, okay, I see this tagline with this face, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. I want to see that. It's gonna be pretty exciting. I would think, and this book has a good vibe. I'm definitely interested to talk to him and definitely read the book. I think I saw the unlettered pages. But I am curious to read it.
Yeah, he's holding those lettered pages back a little bit there on purpose because he just wants people to see the artwork. They like this thing is so freaking cool though, man. And fun fact, I don't know if you are fans of Netflix's Swap Shop. If you guys are, you guys would recognize Richard Davis from the show. He was actually on the show Swap Shop because he used to own I don't know if he still does. I think he's got another comic shop, but he's got a comic shop out there in Tennessee, and they were featured on Netflix. So check it out if you guys want to check it out.
Oh, that's cool.
And he's got a new comic shop called Wonderland Comics. They are also on the experience, which goes live. They do live sales too. So you guys can check them out, do live sales, buy some books from them too.
Awesome. Well, the only other stuff I've seen lately is our friend CJ's book, Interstellar Dust, which CJ does great stuff.
I'm helping him build this one right now too.
Okay, cool.
You can totally tell that it's my style to watch. Look at.
I mean, I like his stuff, but I really like his sci-fi stuff.
It's so cool, dude. Like, I've got his last book here. He sent it to me. Oh, dude, I was looking through it before the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's so freaking good. Like, holy crap.
I've been seeing people post that you've gotten that, and that was a good one.
This thing is so cool. Like, this team did such a good job even putting it together. It's like, he chose a really good team on this one. He makes me upset because he hires me to do all this stuff, but he never wants me to help him lay out any of these books because look how gorgeous this is. It's freaking cool, man. Like, I'm dead. Whatever, man.
I like the title page. Yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, the title page is cool. Like very, very, very cool. I
No,
love that.
they did a good job. I mean, I think we featured that a few times and we talked to him about it too. Um, the art style for that's great. I love how that book looks. I also like how this one looks. I mean, I think you've got, man, this looks, I have not seen this
It's so
image
cool.
before.
He just dropped some more new images in there.
This is top tier. Wow.
Yeah, this is such a cool book, and this is going to be an omnibus, dude. There's going to be, if you look through it, it tells you how many issues are going to be collected in there, and it's so cool. Like it's like it is a book that is spicy. So if you it's I would
As you've
say,
noticed by our quick scrolling.
yeah, I would say it's not. I say, okay, let's say Freddy Krueger, it's rated R, nothing too, crazy. You're gonna see blood, guts, and maybe brief nudity, right? And then literally that's it. So rated R, maybe. So not even anything crazy. Like nobody doing anything gross with their body parts, right? Just saying. You're just gonna see brief nudity. So please check this one out. But
I
there's more. It's so cool. The colors, the vibrant
No, the
colors.
colors are amazing. I think I've seen pages for this before, but I haven't
Yeah,
seen this stuff, which is like almost there's a Stuart Immonen vibe there a little bit.
yeah.
It's a little more exaggerated, but I mean the distribution of line and the intelligence with which that's like distributed is, man, that's great stuff. I can't
They
believe
did
I haven't seen this before.
amazing. Yeah, they did an amazing work on this one. So this one was originally published in the Off-World anthologies, and then he went off and published them on their own. Now he's going to drop this one as an omnibus, which collects I think volume 1 and volume 2 of the story in its entirety. So this is, you're definitely going to want to check this one out. All kinds of really cool covers. He just sent me some two things with, he's got 2 prints that he's going to offer for stretch goals, which is really cool. They're really cool looking prints, art prints. Like he does really great on choosing some of these artists. Like this page alone that we're looking at, you got an old man in space.
I
Just
can't believe this page. This is amazing stuff. This is
it's
like
such a cool page, dude.
so we know him and he's worked with some artists who are now working for DC, doing some great stuff. So he's
Yeah.
obviously got a good eye for talent. This one, man, this is like
And here's the book
I've not seen this before,
here's
but
the
this
book
is
that got
great.
his pal that DC job.
Oh,
'Cause
oh, okay, yeah. No, I've been
this is,
seeing. I saw the cover of it a little bit ago.
yeah, so this is, I can crack it open and show you the insides. Because and what's cool is if you guys are wanting some of these books here that we're showing, we have in stock Hunters of the Outer Realm, and we also have The Laughing Game, which is his fan fiction book about Batgirl and Joker and all of the other amazing characters inside. But check this out. Look at this freaking page, dude. Oh,
By the artist, if I'm not incorrect, Nothing But Nightwing, which is coming out now.
I think so. I can't remember what that is, but look at his red hood, dude. Look at the red hood. Oh, oh, that's so sick.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Like it did so good. And it says free bootleg on the back. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have these on our table at cons. So if you guys see us at cons, and you guys have watched the show and you guys know about this book, we will have some of these behind our table. We will probably not put them on the table, but if you guys see us at a con, we will, if you purchase something, and I will give this to you guys for free. Ask us about the free Batman bootleg, and if you it will let you know what kind of deal we got going on, and you can get this for free.
Yeah. Say the secret password, and you'll get the.
Yep, and it even comes with some cool little art prints and stuff in the inside.
Oh,
So
very cool.
you'll get the whole the exact same thing that everybody that backed the book at those certain levels that got the free book. You'll get the exact same thing that they got. Here's the back cover of that. So make that look at, like, that thing is freaking cool.
No, and I mean, and you're
Oh,
seeing
and this
artwork from a guy who is drawing real Batman books now.
Yep. Now, and this is the book that got him the
Mhm.
job for the Batman book. So, and what's really cool about this is I've got this cover and I got another cover. So you guys are definitely gonna want to come see us. We will be in Tucson. The next con that we will be doing is Tucson Comic Con. Yeah, so check
Very
that out.
cool. Yeah, no, I've been that book has gotten so much interest, and I'm just like, I like the idea of it. I do not like the Bat family at all.
Oh man, we can't be friends anymore.
No, I like Batman, sometimes Robin. That's it. Even though I've seen so much cool, I do really like that so many people have done cool things with the Red Hood since
Yeah.
he's come back. And when I was a kid, it was like the only three people that will never be brought back are Jean Grey, Bucky Barnes, and Jason Todd. It's all happened. And they're all, for the most part, very
In his
cool.
comic books, anybody can come back, right?
No, but it was like it's comic books, but it's like that, and also Gwen Stacy, which of course,
Yeah. Yeah.
she found her way back too. The no, I really like when you get into all the Batgirls and
Yeah.
there's like three Robin. I don't know, dude.
Three
I did
Robins. Four.
I will say this though,
Four.
I hated the idea of Damian Wayne. Hated it.
Really? Oh, I loved I love
But
that idea.
that character is such a strong character. It
Right?
just
It's such a good character because he could flip flop, right? He could flip flop
yeah.
where he's this anti-hero or he's this protagonist antagonist kind of thing. Or no, it's the antagonist where like he flip flops between both, right? Where he's got this moral compass, but then maybe he doesn't unless it really I just love those gray lines
No,
that he just
that character just arm wrestled me into me liking him. Like, and I did against my will. I'm like, I don't
when they
like the
brought
idea of
on
this.
when he had that freaking what was it that like that bull or whatever the heck that had him having dude
Oh yeah. The
I was
Goliath or something. No, is that
yeah,
the guy that?
something like that. I
Yeah.
forgot that big Red Bull or whatever the heck it was. I was there for that all day, man.
No, I hated the idea of it. I don't like Superman having kids. I don't like
I
Batman
was
having
not
kids.
down for it at first
But
either.
I
Then I
was just
read
like,
it.
this concept here is so strong.
Mhm.
I'm just like, you win. It's good.
Yep.
Can't argue.
Yeah. That's how it goes, man. Sometimes, there's books that got me like that, man.
Yeah.
I think actually, what's funny is I've got a book here that at first I was like, okay, dude, do I really want to do this? But then but it was Alex Ross, right? So I had to. I was reluctant, not at first, but this one's a
Did
little
you have to like talk yourself into liking Kingdom Come?
not talk myself into it, but I was
Are
like
you
talk
serious?
myself into no reading it and like buying
Okay.
it, like
All right.
going out and doing it because there's those books that you always hear people talk about, right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
And like so I was like, okay, okay, I just need to buy it and I just need to read it. So that's why I love these freaking compacts. And
Yeah. The
this is another one the same thing. Everybody
Mhm.
talks about I need to read it. I probably read I got first issue down here, but haven't same thing with this. Never read it all the way through, but I was just like, okay, it's one of those things. All right, I'll buy it, right? I'll read it. Um, yeah, dude, I had to talk myself into that.
Wow.
Yeah, I
So
do.
I mean, I was like, Kingdom Come was. I mean, I was at this point. I was always like, after Batman the movie in '89, I was like, all right, I'm in for comics. But I did kind of like not read as much when I was like starting to go to college,
Well,
which is when Kingdom Come came
I
out.
will say, I will confess, I'm more of a Batman guy, so I lean more towards buying Batman books than I did Superman books. I did get some Superman books, but
Mhm.
I levitated more towards Batman. So there's a reason why I didn't read those
Yeah, fair
iconic
enough.
Superman books.
Well, the nice thing about Kingdom Come is it came out. This was the era of
Mhm.
Electric Superman. If you're
Okay.
familiar with that.
Um, no, I'm not.
Oh my God. Do I
No,
have a story
like I'm
for you?
telling you, I don't read Superman books. Like, and that's what's funny is I have the Alex Ross Fantastic Four book, but it's in this big, huge, giant hardback
Yeah.
book. So I read that. I mean read it. I freaking lay it out and it takes up my whole living room. I guess, but but like that's my Alex Ross stuff, right? And then like I like subscribe to like his email list, and, like so I can buy some stuff from him.
So in
So I do
97, 98,
all that stuff, but I just didn't read it.
this guy on the left is
Okay.
all you could get.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And this guy sucks.
I've seen that character before. I just didn't.
Yeah.
I just like I'm saying I never read it.
It was good art. I mean, this is Ron Friends. I don't know who did this art here. Ron Friends is great. I really liked his run on Superman, but unfortunately, it was this era. And it was kind of like Clone Spider-Man in that they held on to it for a long time, longer than I think should have been held on to. And people were just like building up to the point where they would be like, okay, the real Superman is coming back, which I think was called Superman Forever, and did feature an Alex Ross cover. But Kingdom Come was in that era, so you were kind of like, wow, here's a great, iconic, really legendary interpretation of Superman at a time where you couldn't get that month to month. So it did. It kind of came about at a charm time, I think. It would have been a great story one way or the other.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna grab that big book so I can show you what it looks like, dude. It's huge.
All right. If only had a drum roll to play.
I know, right? It's freaking. Like I have to go and get it, and it's like huge. I have to walk. I have to get the hand truck for this thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, all right.
No, but I'm serious. This thing is huge. Like you cannot get this thing in frame. Look at this thing.
Whoa, what the hell is that? I've never heard of that.
Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Oh my gosh. Look how huge it is.
Wait, so this is old. This is the Kirby Fantastic Four, but in
Oh yeah, I'm not yes.
That's like the cartoon check they give you when you win a contest.
Right.
What is that?
This is one of them. No, I'm sorry, it was not Alex Ross. I mean, I meant John Byrne, Buscema, and Kirby.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. So this is a collection of different Fantastic Four stories with a Alex Ross cover.
Yep. That's what I meant. Alex Ross cover. But look at that.
Dude, my mind is not accepting the scale.
And I have two of these, dude. I have two of these. Like, look at this. It's like, I don't know how can I put like I don't know what I can show you.
No, my brain is interpreting that as like a camera effect. It doesn't seem right.
Look at it next to my head. Look at this.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. So this is a collection of Galactus stories.
So yeah, so it's Behold Galactus. It's got you got collected Fantastic Four.
I would think 48 and 50.
48, 50,
yeah.
74, 78, 74 to 77, 120 to 123, 242 to 244.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah.
Where do you even put that? Like
I use it
like top of your car? Like what the hell?
This is what my printer sits on top of. Next to me. I had to lift my printer off of it to like this thing, dude. This is the size of one of my children. Like
oh, that's all. Oh, is that a recolored version of 48?
I think so.
Oh, is that Bruce Timm? It looks like Bruce Timm.
I can't find a signature.
Well, it looks awesome one way or the other.
Yeah, that's freaking crazy cool. Like, I don't know if that's in frame. There we go.
No, it's communicating the scale, which it doesn't help. My brain is not willing to accept that. It's cool stuff, man.
It's crazy cool. I love that stuff.
I love the absolute. I used to have an absolute George Perez JLA Avengers,
and those are huge.
Nice.
But this
no,
thing
it was nice. I only bought it because I've only recently become a Perez fan. As I've been doing research for Scarlet Twilight,
okay,
and the next thing, and I always liked his stuff. I would buy it, but it wasn't one of my favorites, and I didn't really appreciate his artwork or the things he did in the way I do now. So it wasn't like a huge. I actually had a gift card to a comic shop that was closing, and I had to buy something, so I bought that, and sold it once it like shot up in value.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, that was like too big for me to comfortably read. But what you have dwarfs that.
Dude,
Like
this
that's a
one
book
like
the actual Galactus would read.
I think it's Galactus's pocket sized
Yeah,
book.
yeah. No, it's a little big books that my parents had when they were kids, reading
Yeah,
about Kit Carson or things like that.
I think this one is Galactus's book. It's from
Yeah,
his
that was
collection.
insane. I did not realize that things like that were being produced.
I think this thing should say Galactus size, right?
I I think that's the obvious pun. I also like that we went from the DC Tankobon size to whatever the hell you'd call
like
this.
like you can't even keep that thing in frame. Like look how big that
No,
thing
you haven't managed to.
is. Oh man, that thing's funny. Like I had when I would go live, I had that thing sitting in my background, right?
Mhm.
And one of my friends at the time, he's like, dude, he says, what the heck is that thing behind you? And like he literally took a picture of one of my streams and like circled it. He's like, where the heck did you get this thing? How big is it? And I like showed him to it and I had to like measure it and show him like measurements of this thing. And he's like,
Mhm.
dude. And then he like sent me a picture. He's like, dude, I got one. So I was like, dude, that's awesome.
That's insane. I didn't realize it's the biggest book I've ever seen outside of like some old Bible on the mat.
Yeah,
You
dude.
know.
And I got two of them because my brother gave it to me for one Christmas, and then he had an extra one that he was going to give to my other brother, but he ended up giving them both to me. I was like, dude, I'm taking this. I said I'm gonna keep them both
That's crazy.
because one of them
That's
was a little bit more beat up because it was sitting in somewhere else, but the other one I had was brand new. So I have one that's kind of beat up, so I'm like kind of keeping off to the side so that like later on I really want to put a bunch of those really gorgeous looking pages in like a
mhm.
frame and like put
That's a
them
good
up.
idea. No, that would be awesome.
So that because they're
Yeah.
huge, they're freaking like I
Well, I
should
was going
probably
to ask you, do they have any pages in there that are just his pencils? Because Kirby's pencils, because he did
so I've never
really
opened this one up.
okay.
I opened the other one up and I don't know, dude. Oh, look at that.
Because I have two questions.
Like these
About
things are
this.
like poster size, bro.
Yeah, no, the thing looks like it's 20 pounds.
Oh yeah, it's heavy. No, I don't think there's any just pencils in here though. Look at this. Oh,
That's
I
a
should probably,
shame.
I should probably turn the camera so you can see this. Like, look at this. Is how I read it.
There's no non-awkward way to read that.
Here you go, guys. There you go.
No, that's insane. That actually almost looks normal. The scale flattens it out a little bit.
Right.
I mean, it looks like you're reading a newspaper, which I guess is a comparable size.
This is huge, dude.
I never really liked Kirby until I was last few years of college, I think, and I saw a couple of friends of mine were into the Tomorrow's reprints, they have like just a Jack Kirby magazine or two at the time, and they'd reprint his pencils for Thor and Fantastic Four.
Oh, that's so cool.
At the time, I mean, when he's done some very loose pencils. If you see his later stuff or even like New Gods, it's pretty loose. It's good. I mean, it's obviously great. But the stuff he did for Marvel at that period, it was almost like it was very polished, just the pencils. So I would love to see pencils of that scale because he also worked up pretty big, at least later in life, which was because his eyesight was failing. So he produced these big pictures. Everybody thought, well, that's just so awesome. It was kind of because he couldn't see that well and had to draw that big.
Yeah. BMD Nerd says that reminds me of Sin City's big damn book, which weighs over 10 pounds. Yeah, this thing's heavy, man. This one's probably about 10 pounds.
You could probably do some curls with that, man. I don't know.
This thing's pretty. Yeah, I would say about 10 pounds, dude. 10, 15 pounds, maybe. Yeah, that thing's
just the scale of this is insane.
And the price.
Stop laughing at this.
The price on this SKU says $50.
Oh, you're kidding me.
That's not a bad price. No, it's probably not that price if you look it up online, but
that's insane. I'm a little. I knew a guy. I used to work with an illustrator when I had my first job, who knew somebody that in Marvel's reprints department that was doing. Apparently, they were printing stuff on high gloss paper, which is why you get those really saturated colors you see on the interiors there. So it's like they were selecting those colors at the time for newsprint. They didn't ever intend them to be that vivid.
Yeah.
And they tried to compensate with a couple of trade paperbacks they did. And one was the one I had was Nick Fury Ancients of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was really, it was mostly Steranko stuff. It was really good. They printed on like some really porous paper and they turned down the saturation. I thought that looked great. But everybody that bought those trades rebelled. They were like, no, we want the super saturated colors on the glossy paper. So they just, that's what they do now. And they've never stopped doing it.
I think it's really cool that like when these publishers do these really cool fun things like that big huge book, right? And all these different marketing things, right? Like recently I was at the Dollar Tree, dude, and they had a whole like a whole rack of comic books, dude. And I picked up I remember I told you I was like I read issue 1, I got all this. I picked this up, dude, for $1.25. It's a reprint, right? So if you want to read, All-Star Batman or All-Star Batman, see, look at me, I'm just a Batman fan. Sorry, All-Star Superman.
You can't give Superman any shred of credit.
I can't, man. I guess I'm. But what's cool is it looks like it was sponsored by like another, like a seller. I think this is like an online seller.
That's cool.
But what's cool about this is they sponsored it so that these can be in like the comic shop, or not the comic, like the dollar store, right? And this is the backside of it, which is really cool, and it says like exclusive, collectibles and things like that. And so these guys they published this with a DC license, right? And they were able to get these into like the dollar store. So now these things are like people have at like everybody's fingertips, man. And what's really cool is that they have all these really cool classic issues that they have out there. I think they had like all the classic, they had a couple classic Batmans. They had Lois Lane, they had Batgirl, Superman, a couple other ones that was like the classics, the really good stories that everybody talks about that was there. So I thought that was a really cool thing to kind of see when people like at the freaking dollar store, dude.
Yeah, they have that at our dollar store too. So I go there and get my Diet Coke, which is the only place Diet Coke is like not crazy price now. And I really shouldn't be drinking that much of it anyway, but I am. And it's right next to the Tractor Supply, so I just kind of pop over there. But they put that up, the DC one, maybe 6 months ago.
Yeah.
It was, the really cool thing was to see the first wave. They had pretty much every DC hero. So you had Superman, Batman, Super Sons, Justice League, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, the whole gamut. And it was kind of cool to see, because I'd go there. I drink a lot of Diet Coke, more than I ought to. It was interesting. It was interesting to see what went out fast and what was left behind. So I ended up buying like a Green Arrow and a Green Lantern.
Yeah,
they were among the last ones there. But it was really cool to see kind of like, okay, people really gravitated to this. They just restocked that one maybe a month ago. Pretty much all Batman, Superman, Justice League.
Oh yeah.
And then some Harley Quinn and Joker. Joker does great.
Yeah, I think that's the second one, the next wave, because I think those exact titles are the ones that are at the one where I'm at.
Yeah, but no, it's kind of interesting to see. Okay, I'm getting some real time information there about what people are picking up, which is cool to see.
And it's always Batman, just saying.
Yeah. I think Superman actually is outperformed.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
At least
probably
here in New York. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. I'm there for it, man. I've in the last 2 weeks I bought 2 freaking Superman books. So they got me hooked, man. So
I'm pumped to see the movie. We were actually in Cleveland when they were filming there. Which was last year for a family emergency, and we were obviously busy with that. And but the radio when you drive around town was just like they had just had some kind of weird cyber attack to Cleveland City Hall or the City Records or something like that. So they were always joking like Superman's filming over on Euclid Avenue, but where was he last week when we got this attack? So we were always just too busy to see anything. But we were pumped to see. Actually, there are parts of the trailer. I'm like, you can see. I'm like, I used to live in this building here, and
that's so cool.
And my wife's some relatives actually own one of the buildings that you see, Superman, Lois Lane, like flying in and stuff. So we're really
Oh,
pumped to
so
see that
cool.
movie. Yeah,
That's way cool. That's awesome, dude. That's way cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
cool stuff.
I'm there for all superhero movies, man. Um, whether I like them or not, and whether I like criticize them or not, I'm still gonna
Yeah, I
watch it.
mean, yeah, they're up and down. That's
Like
fine. But
this, like I listen. I
it
have.
seems like this is going to be a good year.
I hope it's gonna be
I'll
good.
say
I
that.
just have a fear. I just have a fear that that he's gonna make it like he's gonna like try to make it over the top funny, like he did with
Agreed.
Guardians.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, all right, dude, that's maybe not the tone that Superman has. So I can see where people are like, maybe this is going to be a flop, but I really hope I really hope it's not.
my biggest issue with it is that if you look at these are nitpicky things. They're visual things, and I'm an artist, so you're going to get that. When you look at the icon of the character, which is to say, like the logo, the not just the logo itself. I don't mind how they changed the logo,
Yeah.
but like the way they did the neck thing, kind of the new 52. And I know there might be business copyright issues that might have made that happen. I'm not an expert. I don't know. Um, I don't like how the suit and I guess the overall look. There's something to be said for these characters that are when you translate them live action. When you look at Christopher Reeve or
Yeah.
maybe Sean Connery as James Bond, I think there's two things those actors have to do, which is one, always be that guy, but then
Yeah.
express nuance and emotion and a range of stuff within that thing. I think there's kind of a thing where people are looking at some of the characters now and they're like, well, he doesn't have to be like he could be a guy that wears the Superman suit and does Superman things, but doesn't necessarily look like Neil Adams Superman.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm just like, no, he's kind of got to look like the Joe Shuster Superman or the
Yeah.
Neil Adams Superman or Christopher Reeve,
Mhm.
who I think threaded that needle pretty well. This guy is definitely doing his own thing, and it might work in the movie, and it might not. But I that's the biggest thing I have. I don't have a problem with the tone of the movie, and I like all the crazy stuff happening. It's kind
I
of like
think
the '80s burn run in a lot of ways.
this is I think listen, I was talking to some friends the other day and I was like, I mean, if you know Superman, right? Everybody knows Superman lore, all that stuff, right? So a lot of people have absorbed Superman lore and all his background, right?
Mhm.
So if you are reading a lot of Superman comics or you know a lot about Superman stuff, right? Like I haven't read every single thing, but I know a lot of the stuff, right?
Sure.
I've read a lot of the new 52 stuff, a lot of the rebirth stuff, a lot of the stuff that's out recently, right? And then but if you kind of look at the comic books and what they've done, even some of the things there, you can see some of the elements that they're doing in
Yeah.
this one, like All-Star Batman. You can see All-Star Superman. You can see all you could see some parts in the trailers that you could possibly maybe make out that that's the direction they're going, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of elements in there from pulled from so many different comics, right? You got Ulysses in there, right? We all knew who that is. If anybody knows who that is, we you know what I mean. You got an idea of where that's going. Everybody's got this whole speculation. Is it going to be Corn Sweat inside that suit, right?
Mhm.
So you read comic
Oh, the
books,
Ultraman guy. Yeah.
yeah, the Ultraman, the Ulysses, or whatever
I
you
think it's
want to
gonna be
call him.
some mix of that and Bizarro, or like he's gonna evolve into Bizarro.
You think so?
Yeah.
I really hope that they don't go with a Bizarro route. I really,
They're so embracing
I
the
think
Silver Age. I think they're gonna.
I think they're playing with the multiverse in this one
They
too,
are. Yeah. Yeah.
because I think because in is it Kingdom Come or is it's do they do it a little bit in the other one too? I know Kingdom Come they do a little bit of the
I
kind
don't
of
think they do in
no,
multiverse. They do like at
if,
least in some cutscenes
if
they connect with the fourth world and that stuff. But I don't think they. I
yeah,
mean, they're traveling through time because the guy has the visions, but they're not like it's
there's
not like a
those
timeline thing where they're
there's
stepping
those
off.
yeah, but there's those time elements. So I think we're gonna get some kind of like time elements or some kind of playing with you know, going into different universes or multiverse or whatever you want to call it.
I think there can be some like Morrison esque, like, oh, it's a pocket dimension sort of thing going on.
There's that idea too, because there's also in the comic books that dude. There's a who was it? Somebody was holding a pocket dimension or something like that.
It sounds like a very Morrison-esque thing
Yeah,
which I
yeah,
like that stuff, but it's done in a very like one-off way, like, oh, it's just this and move on with the story sort of thing.
yeah.
That's the vibe I get. I don't know. I like it. I like seeing. It reminds me a lot of. I only reread the Burn run on Superman like last year,
Oh
like
yeah.
Man of Steel. I'd read Man of Steel a while ago, but then the additional stuff where you had Ordway and Kerry Gamble and people like that drawing it, and him kind of managing it. And the first few years were a lot of Booster Gold, a lot of this person turning up, very DC Universe connected. And that's the vibe I get from the movie so far, at least, where
Yeah,
you've got Metamorpho in there. You've got the
Mhm.
80s Justice League kind of almost, Guy Gardner and all that. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I could go with that if it works out right.
You know what I think is going to happen. Here's one of be one of my predictions here. Is I think they're going to do the whole thing where Superman gets supercharged by the sun or whatever. Like,
Mhm.
or didn't they do it in this book? In where he gets too powerful.
They did it in. Yeah, they
And
didn't all. If you're talking about All Star, I think that did
yeah,
because he
we
ends
get
up in the sun at the end. He's working some gears like an old mural or something like
yeah,
that.
and he gets too powerful, and he's like gonna die or something like that.
Mhm.
And I think we might see a little bit of that element in here. I don't think he's gonna die, but
No, no, they're gonna run
I
with
think we're
this.
gonna see him. I think we're gonna see him get a little overpowered by the sun a little bit. They're gonna play with that little twist a little bit
No,
somehow.
they're definitely going in the sci-fi angle. At the same time, I really like when you see like the Kent farm and it's
Mhm.
like an actual person from Kansas or Oklahoma and not just
Yeah,
very unromanticized. I'm like, yeah, dude, that looks. No, I like that a lot. I was like, yeah, that hits. That was a good call.
yeah, yeah. I like the direction they're going with. I hope. I really just. I just don't want him to put the whole Guardians of the Galaxy shine on Superman.
Yeah,
I want him to do some do your own Superman. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I thought Peacemaker was. If you've watched that, it was a little. It was a little self indulgent. It was. I mean, I liked it, but it was like there were jokes and improv things with the
Yeah.
actors that would just go on for like 30 seconds more than they ought to have.
Well, I mean, I think that's just more of actors, right? I don't know if you've seen a lot of the stuff that friggin' John Cena does. John
Yeah.
Cena, like I watched a lot of a lot of John Cena movies, and every movie he's in, they always throw in those like clips at the end where
Mhm.
he's ad libbing, and this dude, he's got this weird natural talent, like comedic talent, where he's just like
Mhm. Oh, he
on
is
it.
funny. No, I like
Crazy.
that series. I like the vibe, but there would be like bits that would just go on, and I'm like, yeah, dude, this is a little. Somebody should. If you ever read a Tom Clancy novel,
Yeah, rein him back just a tiny bit.
and he'll go on for like 5 pages about the specs of some Russian submarine, and you're just
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, it didn't matter, dude. I mean, one thing mattered, and just tell
You're
me
like
that thing,
you're like, all right, did you do this to fill up some pages
Yeah,
there?
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like that. And I do think that with Superman, it does seem like the tone is what it ought to be. I'm a little, like I said, there's something about like when you saw Christopher Reeve as Superman, and I mean, I saw that when I was like 2, and I just like, dude, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
But it did. You look at Neil Adams' cover at that time, and you're like, yeah, that's that guy.
yeah,
This is like, well, it's a guy wearing a Superman suit, and he's a big guy. He looks like Superman, but he's not like. They didn't quite take pains to make it look like exactly like the character, and
yeah,
that creates some dissonance with me. And it really, I think it just comes down to the movie. Sometimes you see things like that,
yeah.
like when I'm watching a biopic of. There was one of Jeffrey Rush, and he was playing Peter Sellers. He doesn't look
Mhm.
anything like Peter Sellers, but for some reason, if I just seen the trailer for that, I'd be like, "That's silly." But I like, Peter Sellers stuff, so I was interested enough to watch it. It worked after like 30 seconds. You accepted it. There was another one where the guy from he's Richard Harris's son. He's been in a lot of stuff. He's the main character in Foundation. He usually plays nerdy characters, but played John Lennon in a sort of thing that was about Paul McCartney and John Lennon in the 70s.
Okay.
You would never think that guy could pull off John Lennon, but he did. Didn't look anything like him, but you kind of, you just accepted it. And sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. I think that's what it's going to come down to for this Superman.
Yeah, I think yeah, man, I think I'm here for it all day. And
I'm curious to see it. I'm curious to see so much of Cleveland on as much.
That's so cool. I love that.
This is like my old. I used to live right downtown the city, so this is just my old stomping grounds. It's great to see.
Like, there's Ben. Look.
I mean, I can look. That's my old apartment. That's another place I live. That's a place. This is the route I ran on. Like it was. This is the ad agency I did stuff for. I mean, it was just every place there has a memory for me. That's so it is cool to see.
Love that, man. All right, man. Well, we've been going for 2 hours.
We have been hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
A while.
Yeah, man. So let everybody know about your book a little bit more, and then we can close out.
All right, we will. I'll put that up real quick here. We Are Scarlet Twilight, Cobalt Crisis, Part 1 is. We'll see. I'm not sure if I'm going to launch this or my my role playing game first, but we'll figure it out. This one's almost done. If I really buckle down, I can probably get this done. I have a few more books to fulfill from the previous campaign, and obviously going to get those out before I do anything. But this one, it's all written, the entire eight part story. I just need to draw it all, which of course is the tough part. But this is going to be issue 1 and 2. I think I'm going to combine those into one double-sized issue. And this is going to be a lot of fun. It's a combination of Crisis on Infinite Earths and Secret Wars, but is it as if it had been done in the golden age of comics in the 40s. So you're going to get a lot of that atmosphere, that pulpy dialogue, and the way the pacing works. But you're going to get all the stuff you're used to in those big 2 crossovers. So it's going to be really fun. I really love how the story's taking shape, and you can get to it on the Kickstarter link that is in the description. But that will, I think, do it for me.
Yeah, and then you guys can check out I Need Your Skin. This one follows Nora Perkins, who is has a fear of aging, and she believes a clairvoyant can help her, but she needs a small piece of her skin. This one's a really cool story. This one has my story. It is going to be scripted by our friend Alan Dunford, artwork by Brian Belando, and letters by Dave Lentz. And then we're going to be doing a 3-issue mini on that one, and then that one's going to be dropping in mid-June, hopefully, if everything goes as according to plan. We're going to get you guys out our archetypes and the trading cards here within the next month or so as well, before this campaign launches. So make sure you guys are keeping an eye on your emails, and send us your addresses if you haven't, because we want to send you some stuff. And then so thank you guys for being patient with us, and appreciate you guys for your time and hanging out with us. Ben, thanks a lot, man.
One other thing before we go, I just saw a comment from BMD Nerd. Dude, that's awesome. I loved her. I probably have read your review. I'll have to make sure that's I will do a search for that and make sure I do read it. But
send us links, man, so we can promote you and your site.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We definitely want to do that. I mean, unless it's a bad review, in which case,
if it's a bad review,
we'll post that at all.
We'll probably say mean things in the comments.
No, actually, I like. I mean, there are things. Every time I've read a negative thing about my work, I'm just like, they have a point there. It is helpful. I don't mind that at all. So, but no, love to see reviews, and definitely post that next time. We'll put some traffic that way. And definitely. And your other reviews as well.
And let us know anytime that you're dropping anything on your site that you want people to see, and we'll do our best to kind of help push that out for you.
Yeah, definitely toss that up.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it. It's been an hour and a half. We've gone on for a while here.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
All right. Take it easy, everybody. We will see you next week, and we have some really cool guests I think you'll be excited to hear from. All right.